Back in 2019 and 2020, we reported on Max Coopey. Max is the son of two former police constables who live in Ascot in a £1 million house. Max and his parents were the centre of some investigations back then. One of them, a criminal investigation into Max Coopey, who was arrested and charged with killing 48-year-old Jason Immey and 61-year-old John Shackley in 2018 after he drove his dad's Audi while off his nut on cannabis and ploughed into the men as they walked down the road. Now, he wasn't actually convicted of causing death by dangerous driving, as a report from somebody, I don't know who it was, absolved him of blame for their deaths. But he was given community service and a fine for drug driving. Yes, that pissed me off at the time as well. Coopey was also caught again just weeks after the crash that killed the two men, driving whilst disqualified and with no insurance, where he was given a 12-week jail term. However, he spent just over 1 week behind bars before being freed on bail whilst he appealed the conviction. Later, his conviction and sentence was completely overturned by Reading Crown Court after Judge Emma Knott argued that the PCSO Gary Clark, who saw Coopey in his mother's car on October the 19th, 2018, may have been suffering from confirmation bias and ruled that it would therefore be unsafe to convict Coopey on that basis. Max's parents were investigated later when they were accused of letting Max use drugs at their home. This accusation was handed to the IOPC, but after 6 months of referrals and inquiries by an investigation by the Metropolitan Police, where the case was referred, found that Russell and Catherine Coopey had no case to answer. However, let's get back to more recent events, as Max Coopey was in court yet again, this time charged with deliberate failure to take a drugs test after driving. This is after yet another charge he walked away from when he was found to have stashed £1,000 worth of cannabis at his parents' home. Clearly the boy has some issues. He got away with causing death by dangerous driving, ×2, had a conviction for driving whilst disqualified overturned, walked from court after being found with a stash of drugs at his parents' home, and now, yes, believe it or not, Max Coopey either must be the luckiest boy alive right now, or his parents are very high-ranking Freemasons, as he's avoided jail once again. The court heard that Coopey had taken to dealing to fund his own drug habit after he was found with the burner phones and cannabis. However, the court took leniency on him after being told that he had taken up mentoring young people at risk of reoffending. I mean, you couldn't make this shit up. If that's not a complete and utter piss take, I don't know what is. It said that his parents, former Metropolitan Police Sergeant Russel Coopey and former Metropolitan Police Constable Catherine Coopey, still give him money and even pay off his fines for him. But it seems that money isn't the only thing that they give him, as they must certainly have some influence somewhere. In his most recent appearance on Friday the 17th of February, Max admitted that he had failed to provide blood for a lab test in the course of an investigation into whether he had committed an offence when driving on July 22nd last year, and also admitted 2 charges of possession with intent to supply of cannabis on September the 14th, 2019 and February 21st, 2020. District Judge Samuel Guzzi, seemingly one of Russell's and Catherine's lodge buddies, gave Max a 36-month disqualification, which clearly doesn't stop him from driving, told him to pay £100 in cost and a £95 surcharge, which no doubt his parents will pay, and gave him an 18-month community order which would require him to complete 25 rehab activity requirement days, a mental health treatment requirement, and to be on tag for 6 months. Now, I know this isn't a cop directly, but there's something inherently wrong when a scumbag like Max Coopey gets to kill 2 people, gets stopped multiple times for drug driving, driving whilst disqualified, dealing drugs, and failing to give a sample for analysis, and gets to walk away. I've reported on people and seen reports of people locked up for a long time for far less, but a copper's son who lives in £1 million house, £1 million house, manages to get away with so many offences is absolutely astonishing.